What up? What up? What up? It's Ibn Webb, Webb, Quran Assam here. Got official thing situation going on here. Essex County all day. Got Mark Jarrell Wright coming on here. Say Benedict's on here. Like it's never met him. Never met him. Heard the name throughout my travels though. So like I said, so looking forward to just one meeting him and just getting to know a little bit about his world and his journey here. So just hold tight. Definitely appreciate this. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Cool. Yeah. So like when we talked, a couple of days ago, it was just like I said, just something I've been doing off the fly. It was just me off the fly, off the cuff kind of thing. And like I said, it then snowballed into just me having an opportunity to meet people such as yourself and a whole lot of other people, whether it's to the Essex County area or other parts as well too. So like I said, that's the small version of how this came about here. So like I said, just hearing your name throughout my travels and back when or what have you. So I had a pleasure to even just get on here with you, man. I'm excited and honored to have it.
I appreciate you.
Definitely, man. And with all this, as far as what's going on, man, like your family, everybody good?
Yeah, for the most part, everybody's trying to navigate through what's going on.
Okay.
It's kind of like the new norm. So
I know. It's crazy, man. But like you said, the new norm, and we make adjustments as we go. So, like I said, just hopefully everybody can stay safe with all that's going on.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely, man. This journey of yours, this life of yours, man. You was born in Newark, or you ended up in Newark, or how does all this thing get down, man? How did it start?
I was born and raised in Newark. I moved. I was in third grade. I moved to Orange, and then my house burned down, and I think I was in fifth. Might have been third or fifth. I can't remember. House burned down. I moved back to Newark. So I lived in Orange for about a year or two. I want to say a year or two. Moved back to Newark, and then from there, I was, that's where I've been, all the way through middle school, high school. Obviously I actually went to St. Benedict's Prep from 7th grade.
From 7th up? Okay.
Yeah, I was like the only person on the team my senior year that was there from 7th grade.
Yeah, interesting.
So that was I didn't think about that till I got older. Like wow, that was different, because most of the time you could see everybody transfer for one reason or another.
Right.
I was there. So I was kind of like homegrown kid. So it wasn't no recruiting me to go there. I got recruited to leave, but obviously that didn't happen.
Yeah. What part of Newark when you went back down?
Bellsburg section, Hooterville.
Hooterville, South Orange Ave, everything. Or
yeah.
Back when I know I'm dating myself with the acronym SOAP and all that other stuff too.
Yeah.
That's what it is, man. I mean, when you finally got settled back down and man, just growing up, was regular childhood as normal as you thought the next person's was too, as far as activities, family life, everything?
I can't say it was normal. It's a typical. I don't have one of those stories of like, oh, I was poor and I made it out the slums. Like, I wasn't a poor kid. I didn't have a poor upbringing. I was pretty fortunate. I never went without. My parents were trying to teach me, just survival, if anything. Okay. So I never went without, but I wasn't, I didn't have everything. My parents worked. My dad was a UPS driver. My mom worked at the hospital. So I pretty much had things that I needed. I wasn't like overwhelmed with random stuff, but I had the latest sneakers. I had the latest clothes. So I didn't, share a room with 5 other kids or nothing like that.
Yeah.
So but it's just weird that I still had this hunger. Like they say, like kids that's trying to work their way out the hood per se, got the different kind of hunger. But I was always had that kind of grit to me. I don't know if it came from the playground.
Okay.
Because even in my neighborhood, like, we had houses. Everybody was in an apartment where we had houses. Like I lived really next door to a playground that I grew up in Lincoln in Vellsburg. So growing up, that's all I knew. I didn't, only time I saw something different if I walked down the block, around the corner. But for the most part, I grew up on a block with houses,
Yeah.
you know. So, but again, I didn't grow up in a household with both my parents. So I split. That was different for me,
Okay.
going back and forth. So
Yeah. You only child?
now I have older sister, I
Okay.
have two younger brothers. I have two older sisters and two younger brothers.
Okay.
So,
Nah. And then you mentioned hitting that park there, man. When you started getting around all that stuff, was basketball your first love, or was it something else here as far as you talk about sports or what have you?
so growing up, I played baseball. I love
Okay.
baseball. My uncle, he was a professional baseball player. So I used to be with him a lot when I was younger, going like to training camps and stuff. So I fell in love with that. Um, I played football. I really loved that. Like I was a really good football player, but I grew. So, being like 6'2"
Hmm.
quarterback, young, I was taking my licks. So I remember my freshman year, I played football with Eastside. I
Hey,
was on
Eastside, okay.
varsity because my Pop Warner coach was a coach at Eastside. So
Okay.
I go there, I do camp and everything. So that was like in the summer. So it was cool. So then the season came around in the fall,
Hmm.
started getting cold. So I remember my AU coach was like, "Yo, what you gonna do?" My friend saw my practice. I'm outside freezing. I'm a freshman on varsity. I'm not playing, so I'm miserable. So I'm like, you know what?
They didn't have JV back then. For
Yeah, but they for some reason they wouldn't play me on JV.
got you.
I think it was like more of like a recruitment tool, like, oh, you'll play varsity.
Hmm.
So I think I'm ninth grade. I'm probably like 140 pounds, if that.
Yeah,
So I had no business out there. Like I was getting destroyed in practice to the point it was like, all right, y'all can't hear him no more. It's like he had enough.
he's a quarterback. You said, right?
Yeah. So it's like, but they would do things like, the tough drills you have to do.
Right.
So, now I didn't go to East Side. I was pretty much a outsider.
Hmm.
They know me as a
Right.
basketball player. So it's like you're not even on the hallways with us. You
And
come
when you
from
say that too, and especially even you was living in the Velsburg section in high school, but going
yeah.
playing for East Side, you wasn't playing for nobody up
I
top.
wasn't
You
playing
was
for
playing.
West Side.
Right,
I
right.
wasn't playing,
So
like,
you didn't even
if
know them
anything, I
around the
should
way or
have been playing for
nothing. Yeah.
West Side.
Right. You didn't even know them from around the way or
I
anything.
don't
Yeah.
know nobody.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm meeting people like, oh, I know your cousin, I know your uncles, like, but that ain't really knowing me. So I left that alone. Like
Okay.
I really loved it, but I left it alone. And some say like I probably would have had a more promising football career than basketball,
Hmm.
which
Hmm.
says a lot considering
Yeah.
what I felt what I did in basketball. So that's we'll never know. But I played all three sports. But and in the playground, you play free fall, you play the touch
Yeah.
football, you got the basketball courts, and you got the baseball diamond.
Hmm.
So we had all of that in the playground. So any given day, you're playing one of those three.
Hmm.
So
Nah, interesting. Then you said, hey, when did you start playing like organized basketball? What grammar school or middle school?
organized, I want to say I started probably about sixth grade.
Okay.
And I was at West Side Park. My dad, he would go there on the weekends. So I go with him. And then the director, Tommy, at the time, he put me on a team and I was just like a fish out of water. I knew how to play, but I was just out there, what I mean, running around having fun. But AAU wise, I want to say I started seventh grade
Okay.
with the Newark Rams. I remember looking through a Star Ledger in the sports section.
Hmm.
And that was my age is showing, I was in a
Nah, we
newspaper.
good. I'm with you. I'm right with you.
So
Yeah.
I'm going through the newspaper and I just saw like Newark Rams triad at St. Rocco's. So
Okay.
I just went down there, got dropped off, and the rest was history. Shout out to B Crawford. That's my guy.
Yeah.
Um, we've had our share of ups and downs. I still love him to death though. But he was the one that he kind of catapulted my whole basketball career.
Okay.
Like just from everything, like put me on different platforms, get my name out there and just giving me game, like off the court, on the court, just being like tough love. And it just so happened he lived around the corner from me. I didn't find that out until after I made the team, because this was back when, you know, you had a tryout of 50 to 60 kids in your
Oh,
age.
it'd be crazy. Yeah, it'd be
Yeah, it's
crazy.
not
Yeah.
like today, you know, you just on the team if you try out. This was
Mhm.
like really had to like be
Yeah.
something.
Hmm.
It was like survival of the fittest, especially in St. Rocco's, a little gym, it's hot. You know what I mean? The wall right there. You got the gate with the heater. So it was, and you got the stage. So it was like looking back at it, like I remember that. Like I wish we still had that
Okay.
kind of atmosphere. But
Hmm.
so yeah, I remember that's when I started 7th grade.
So obviously, so you jump on the Rams, you get the opportunity to travel and play. And how was it? Did you play right away, or you were still learning the game and feeling it out, even when you got on the team?
Nah, so I was pretty decent for my age group.
Okay.
So I played.
Okay.
It just so when I got to, I want to say, high school, that's when he started playing me up against older kids.
Okay. Okay.
I didn't play a lot when I played up, but I was in the thick of things playing against like dudes I would read about in Street and Smith or Slam. So those
Mhm.
was like dope experiences just to see like, yo, that's the dude from the magazine. Like, yo, B, put me in. Like just to guard him. You know what I mean? But nowadays with social media, you know who everybody is just from looking through a phone. But back then it was like you only saw these names, these players in like a magazine, or if you went to like a big time camp like an ABCD or 5-star.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting because you said even from sixth, and obviously 7th grade, you at Benedict. So I know you said you stayed straight through, but before the high school part there, was it any question you was going to Benedict for high school? I mean, you mentioned some people trying to tap on your shoulders.
Nah, so
Okay.
that didn't, I wasn't, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and make up these stories like a lot of guys older, like, yeah, I was recruited by 20 high schools and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
great. I was the best 8th grader in Newark. And nah, it was pretty much a known thing that I wasn't being recruited
Okay.
to go to another high school. And if I, matter of fact, I was, but it was like local Newark high schools, and they didn't have a chance in hell of
Yeah.
me going there. My parents wasn't beat. Like it was, you remember back in the day, it wasn't, you know what I mean? It was real rough, like
Hmm.
just to even walk through those hallways. But so my freshman year, you know, again, so my story is different
Yeah.
again than a lot of quote unquote like stars in high school. So my freshman year, I played freshman.
Okay.
Like
Hmm.
I was on the freshman team. There was no sharing time on JV or varsity. So I legit played freshman.
Yeah.
Um, had fun to play with my friends. We had a good team. We won something. I don't know what it was, but um, so that was like my coming out party. Then it was going into my sophomore year. That's when it was like, all right, do we put him on varsity? Do we play JV? Because playing AAU, I was playing up.
Okay.
So, you know, my coach, my AAU coach, B. Crawford, was telling my coach, like, look, he plays with those dudes in the spring and the summer, so he can handle it. But we had a good team.
Hmm.
We had a really good team. So I actually sat the bench for varsity. I probably play like on a good day, 6 minutes.
Okay.
Um, I only played with the JV when they played in the Essex County tournament. That was it. But other than that, I was sitting on the bench waiting my turn, frustrated
Yeah.
because I could have went other places at this time. And now I'm being recruited to go to other schools.
Okay.
So now I'm frustrated because I'm not playing, but you know, I stayed. I tried to leave.
Where'd you try to go?
I tried to go to St. Anthony, tried to go to Paston Catholic,
Okay.
because I
Okay.
had friends that played there.
Right.
So I was trying to go with my boys. And then obviously those are two good schools.
Hmm.
Um, excuse me, back then. So it never happened. Every time I tried, if anybody that went to Benedict, they know about the trophy room. That's the waiting area to go to the principal's office.
Okay.
I would have to sit in there all day for him to tell me, yo, come back tomorrow, we'll talk.
Mm. Mm.
Never really got traction. So
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting too, of being at Benedict's, and obviously not only basketball obviously is becoming its own thing there, but national powers in soccer. You got all
So yeah,
different.
so back
Yeah,
then
yeah,
we were still like a powerhouse in soccer.
yeah, yeah.
Basketball, we weren't really national, but we were like regionally good. So
Hmm.
we'll get ranked like, in a region, but nationally, we wasn't like top 25 in the country, but we would play schools in the top 25. I mean, we played against T-Mac, we played against Lamar Odom,
Okay.
um, Juan Dixon, who played, I want to say he played St. Raymond's that year at
Mhm.
the Hall of Fame. So we was playing national ranked teams, but we weren't, we were good, but we never could crack that top 25.
Yeah. Interesting. You said that, man. Just how was it for you? You mentioned these schools you playing, and I mean, just when you just realized, like, well, I know sophomore year sounded like it was a struggle getting some PT, but junior year, just does it change for you?
So wait, sophomore year at so my sophomore spring, AAU kind of took a turn for me.
Okay.
I had a growth spurt.
Okay.
I grew to like 6'3", 6'4". Um, so I'm balling. And then I'll never forget when B Crawford told me I got a invite to ABCD. Now I'm a
Yeah.
sophomore.
Yeah.
It's not normal for sophomores. Usually go your junior summer.
Hmm.
So I go as a sophomore, not really even playing varsity. So that alone, all B says, don't don't make me regret this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So go, I do well. I do well. I'm not looking crazy, but I'm doing well. So I'm repping for Newark. I'm repping for the Rams, repping for Jersey. Um, then that summer,
Now, who's there when you're there that year? As
sophomore
far
year, ooh,
if you remember, if you can remember.
hmm, the
If
big,
not, don't worry about it. But
yeah, I don't. It's crazy because I don't want to get the years mixed up, but that had to be um the guys from the class of '98. So that might have been like Kenny Gregory,
Mhm.
Lester Earl.
Okay.
If no, I want to say Anthony Glover. I remember a lot of Atlanta guys. But man, no, so I really don't remember all those names.
That's all good.
Um, so then that summer was kind of like instead of like I didn't really worry about not playing varsity because my AAU season was better than me anyway. I look
Hmm.
forward to that because you're traveling,
Yeah.
you're playing different competition from all over the country. So I wasn't really caring about the high school season.
Hmm.
Um, so then leading into my junior year, now it was like my team. Like all the older guys are gone. Me and my boys, like it's like this is our show now. So we have
Yeah.
our own coming out party. And that season that was a good season. That was my best season, obviously. And then that summer, this is when things took a bad turn.
Uh-oh.
So that summer going into July, which is the live period, where you go
Hmm.
to college, play in front of college coaches. So I go to ABCD again. Um, I did well. It was actually an article about me being snubbed for the All-Star game.
Okay.
I was like top 10 in every statistical category. On top of that, my team, we went undefeated. That was the first
Mm.
time in camp history. Like the team went undefeated, we're 9-0.
Mm.
And I was, obviously an integral part of the team. So they do an article about me getting snubbed. Then I don't go to Vegas with my original team, which was the Rams. My most
Right.
important
Yeah.
summer.
Yeah.
Um, my dad made a decision for me to go play with another team.
Another AAU squad.
Yeah, from New York.
Okay.
Um, that was probably the worst basketball decision I made. Like
Who'd you
looking
play
back
for in
at
New York?
they were the Madison Broncos. Good
Okay.
team. We went to the Elite Eight, I want to say, out in Vegas, but I wasn't. I was just a piece. I wasn't. I didn't really do nothing the whole time we're there. I'm hanging out with, my boys.
Mhm.
It's like it wasn't it to this. I know why it happened, but I just that was the worst, like one of the worst basketball decisions I made. Well, not me,
Mhm.
but was made for me because I'm just a kid. My dad made this decision.
Mhm.
Um, so then I came back after that trip and I actually started playing with the players.
Okay.
Tim Thomas started to play as that summer.
Mhm.
So, it was me, Brandon Knight, Marcus Toniel, Eddie Griffin,
Okay.
Rashid Dunbar, Rick Abadak, like the best of the Deshaun Williams. How could I forget him? He was one of the cornerstones of the program because he went to Patterson Catholic.
Mhm.
So it was a squad. Dante Jones, like
Okay.
the who's who in Jersey, pretty much. So just and then that was kind of even an issue because I was a Ram since 7th grade.
Yeah.
So I was kind of caught up in the politics of basketball without even knowing
Mm.
back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so it caused some issues and kind of caused a few strains in relationships. But yeah, that was a rough time because I call him my brother, one of my best friends. He was actually living with me. He's my point guard.
Okay.
So now we living under the same roof, and we on two different teams.
Mm.
AAU wise, he's my point guard in high school. He's my point guard at AAU. So now I leave, and it's like, yo, what are you doing? It's like, hey man, I don't make the decisions around here.
Mhm.
Um, but it all worked out at the end. Coming into my senior year, I signed early to Providence.
Mhm.
That was another mistake. My bad. That was the second mistake I made.
Now you mentioned signing. Anywhere else was you getting some major looks? Was considering any other spots before
Pretty much
actually
most of
signing?
the biggies. And I can say it now because what it be 20 years, 20 plus years removed. I was actually I wanted to go to Seton Hall.
Okay.
Me and another player, which I won't name, we walked into Seton Hall and told me he was coming. This was our junior summer.
Yeah.
Walk in the office, Tommy Erica said, "Yeah, we coming." He was like, "Whoa, nah, slow down." And this
Mhm.
was this was Shaheen Holloway's. He was going to be a senior.
Okay.
So the coach said, "How about y'all go to prep school for a year? Stash y'all there, and y'all come after Shaheen and other guards." I want to say it was Gary Saunders at the time.
Mhm.
And he was like, y'all go to prep school for a year, and then I'll bring y'all back. And his rationale made a lot of sense now, like looking back at it. He said, I can't bring you two guys in being highly ranked in Jersey and the country and not play you. He goes, I'll lose Jersey. I'll never be able to recruit from here. And back then,
Mm.
we're young. We like, what you talking about? Like, we want to
Mhm.
come. Like, what's up? So we left angry. Like, man, forget Seton Hall.
Mhm.
And then the next play was for me was Pittsburgh. Because
Okay.
I was, quote an Adidas kid. I played in the Adidas program. They were Adidas. My guy Troy Weaver, the coach there. He used to coach DC Assault. So it was a relationship there with him and my AAU coach. So who was Jim Salmon.
Okay.
Um, so that was supposed to happen. That didn't happen. I ended up going to Providence. So I commit to Providence, and literally my fourth game of high school career, my senior year, I tear my ACL at the Garden.
Mm.
So I didn't know what the ACL was.
Mhm.
So I'm still like playing hurt. I don't know what's going on. I'm at the Garden. I got
Yeah.
my new Jordans on. We on TV.
Mm.
Ain't no way in hell I'm coming off this court.
Mhm.
So that happens, and literally that next week they sign 4 guards. I'm like, what? So now I'm like, yo, this is crazy. So I'm thinking about that, but I'm more so worried about trying to get back to myself because now I got to have surgery. I go
Mhm.
through that. I'm going through depression. Like I'm crying every other day just wanting to play basketball. Because you figure from the age of, 8, 9, that's all I did every day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I knew. I just remember, being in the hallways in school on crutches, having people help me with my bags. And it was just a messed up situation to the point I couldn't even go to my own team games to watch. But I couldn't do it. It was hard.
Mm-hmm.
So
How'd you cope? Like, what'd you do to cope? Looking back at it, what you?
nothing. I was eating. That's all I did. I was eating and rehabbing.
Yeah.
Like I did extra on rehab to the point I was hurting myself. They were like, yo, you gotta like calm down. Like you're not gonna get back in 2 days. Like, so I would go extra hard in rehab thinking that would speed up my process, but it didn't. All it did was hurt me. So it set me back.
Okay.
In the minute I got off of crutches, me being so eager to be out there, I'm in shoes, like shooting around, just playing around. They like, yo, sit down. I remember one time I actually slipped and like tore some scar tissue. I thought I tore my ACL again. That's how fragile I didn't know. Like all I heard was something like pop, and it was like, oh, that was just scar tissue. I'm like, all right, let me chill out. So I finally got back into playing shape. Like six months after surgery. And I was still like timid because I was still nervous because all I did was I was a jumper.
Okay.
I was athletic. So I did a lot of dunking. And I was like, if the minute I'm able to dunk again is when I knew I was able to play again. So that took a minute just to mentally process that. Because physically I was probably able to do it, but mentally I was nervous. So
now you missed your whole senior year?
yeah.
Yeah.
14 year, I only played, I think it was 4 or 5 games. So that rolled right into college. So graduating, going to Providence as a baby, your career start over when you get to college.
Right.
That's what a lot of kids don't realize. Like what you did in high school, nobody cares. You get to high school, you get to college, you got to start off fresh. So now you competing against. Now you're going up the success ladder. So now you're a level away from your goal, which is professional. Every kid, who think they something, they go into college like, yeah, I'm one and done. I'm one and done. I remember saying that, like I'm one and done. I remember my first open run with the team. John Linehan, he my old head. So he did my visit when I went there and he was a starting point guard. Now he led the country in steals. So I never forget, first pickup game, come down and get the rebound, dribbling. He's standing right there. All I remember was going behind the back. The ball never got to my left hand.
Yeah.
Turn around, he's laying it up, laughing. And I'm like, I ain't never been robbed like this. I've been plucked before, but like, like fan ran down on me. And he just looked at me and laughed. And I remember him afterwards, he was just like, he used to call me M. He like, nah, M, like this ain't high school. So it was rough. That my freshman year at Providence was rough because I wanted the red shirt because I wasn't ready physically.
I was gonna say we're coming off the injury.
I was able to play, but not to the level that I wanted to. So it was an off and on discussion with the coaches, like, are we gonna do it? Then it was like we had a lot of injuries. So I had to play. So I got in some games, I did all right, but I wasn't ready mentally to be out there. I just felt like I wasn't myself. And then I was playing out of position. Had me playing point because Linehan got hurt. He pulled his groin that he had to have surgery, so he was out. So I'm sharing a point guard with my roommate. So it was a lot going on there. Then I never forget the game we played Rutgers. Now I'm still thinking we just had the conversation about me redshirting. So I didn't even have my uniform, my jersey top on. So we got Rutgers. Coach said, Mark, I'm like, what's up? They're like, come on. I looked at the manager like, yo, I need my uniform. Like, I didn't plan on playing because we discussed this like literally the day before. And then that game, and I understood like it was Rutgers, I was home, but it's like, nah, like I got 4 years left if we gonna do the red shirt thing. So we could come back here anyway. We're in the Big East. We play here once a year. I don't need to play because we're at Rutgers. You know what I mean? So I played the Seton Hall game at the Meadowlands.
Yeah.
So he put me in the game. I get in, and that was the game where I couldn't redshirt. I was over the amount of games. So I was like pissed, like to the point I'm like, yo, I don't want to be here. Actually, let me rewind. The moment I knew I was leaving Providence, so we was in Puerto Rico at the Puerto Rico shootout.
Okay.
That was the tournament, you know, it's a big tournament during Thanksgiving, during the holidays. So we out in Puerto Rico. I remember it was Michigan State, Texas. What other school was there? Those are only two schools I remember.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember us playing Michigan State. They had Mateen Cleve, Mo Peterson.
Flintstones, all of them.
Yeah, man, like they was top in the country, and that year they won a national championship.
Okay.
I remember he put me in the game, and we put me in the game. I turned the ball over like twice. So then he come in the locker room and blame me for the loss. I'm looking around like he's killing me. Like he's talking crazy about Newark, all this, Newark BS, blah, blah. And I'm looking around like, fam, like I wasn't even an intricate part of the game. So then we in film.
Who's the coach at this time?
I don't even want to say his name. I don't want to give him no.
Oh yeah, all right, that's cool. We leave it like that.
Yeah, you know, I ain't giving him no nothing.
Okay.
He know who he was. So,
Okay.
So he's killing me. So now the coaches I'm cool with, we talk after. They was like, yo, you know, you gotta understand you're a freshman, and coach, he just, you know, that's how it is. I'm like, I'm not understanding this. So I'm like, you know, I don't even want to be here. Like I told you I want a red shirt. He's still playing me. I'm not ready. But he still put me in the game. So I'm like, yeah, I'm out. I remember I called my AAU coach, like, yeah, we gotta find me another school. So during the whole season, I'm just like, just waiting for it to be over. Wait, I'm going hard, but I'm just like, I'm just doing this to kind of just stay afloat. Like I was hating it. I was going home every weekend. I didn't really have a college experience.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask about Providence. I mean, it's a city, but it ain't Newark, and you in New England. So
that was culture shock for real.
Yeah.
So coming from a big city like Newark, and then going to a small town in the smallest state in America, Rhode Island. Like literally, you going too fast, you could pass the whole state.
Yeah.
95.
Yeah.
In Boston, like, wait, I thought I was so I just wanted out. So obviously I left. I didn't even tell nobody. I didn't tell my parents until I was actually signed to go to Fordham.
You think they would try to change your mind?
Nah. At that time, they was like, do what makes you happy. Because I was they knew I wasn't happy up there because it's like, yo, you're in college. Why are you home every weekend?
Yeah.
Like I was miserable up there. So I didn't get the college experience up there. So I meet the legendary Bob Hill. I don't know who that is. He coached the Knicks, the Spurs.
Yeah, no, Jersey guy.
No, you talking about, that's Fred Hill.
That's Fred Hill. Bob Hill.
Coach the Spurs and the
Magic
Knicks.
too, I think too.
In the Magic.
Yeah. Okay, now I'm with you.
So I go meet him, hit it off. Like we we talked about everything. Like we talked about, you know, life after sports, and you know, he knew his stuff. And wouldn't expect nothing less because he was an NBA coach for years. So he's seen the best of the best, the worst of the worst. So, you know, I commit to him.
Okay.
I mean, he could have been at, I don't know what school, but just him and what he was giving me the game, I was in tune with him. So I learned a lot from him on and off the court. So go to Fordham. We actually had a good recruiting class. He got a lot of guys that could have went to other big schools. We had Smush Parker, who ended up being in the NBA. He was one and done. He was special. We had Adrian Walton from Harlem. He could have went other places, but he came to Fordham. We had Jeff McMillan, who was crazy talented. He could have went. He actually transferred to USC, but he had a bunch of schools. So we had a lot of dudes who could have went other places. My brother Mike Haynes, he came. So we had a crew. but it was tough because we had the new class versus old class. So it never really meshed. Never really meshed. So we had a decent year, and then Coach Hill got fired. So my last 2 years, I had Derek Wittenberg,
Okay.
infamous Wittenberg, the one that shot the air ball, but he said it's a pass for NC State.
NC State. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, that's my dude. He crazy, but I love him. He's a good dude. So my senior year, actually, I tore my knee again.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm lying. Let me backtrack. So my junior year, I had knee surgery, and my senior year. So the surgery my senior year came like after the fourth game. I remember after we played Holy Cross, I was like, yo, something wrong. So I go into surgery, and I never forget my mom told me when I woke up, they told her like, yo, it's worse than what we thought. If we have the surgery, he'll be out 6 months. So when I went under, all I was told was it was gonna be a month of 4 to 6 weeks rehab. So she said, no, if he wakes up and you say 6 months, he'll go crazy. So they was like, she said, just do what you said you were gonna do, and then when he's conscious, you talk to him about something else, about whatever else has to be done. So they was telling me that I need another surgery. I was like, is it imperative? They was like, for the long run, but you'll be out 8 months because we got to drill holes. And I was just like, hell no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So I got back to where I needed to be, but I was never 100. Like I was never 100%. So I played, but it wasn't, my senior year was a wash. I mean, I had to wait. I wasn't even practicing. I would get shots before the game. Like I was legit. I had arthritis in my knee.
Mm-hmm.
So it was bad. So I rehab, and like still to this day I have like pains, but it's not going nowhere. And I refuse to have that surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd have been my 5th knee surgery. I'm like, nah, I'm good. Y'all not cutting me open again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you got that going on. I mean, back and forth just throughout especially your college career, then life in general. Like are you want to play ball, but you got to kind of figure all this all out. This is all going on at once. Like what I'm gonna do the rest of my life and all this other stuff too, man. Like, do you remember just kind of were you all over the place? Like, how were you?
So it was again like I don't think a lot of people understand as an athlete, like when that's what you do and that's your passion.
Mm-hmm.
When you at a point of like you can't do it anymore, like you're really at a crossroads. Like, okay, like what am I gonna do? Am I gonna keep trying? Like, so what's the next move? So I remember I couldn't do no camps, no tryouts, no nothing. Excuse me. So I'm just rehabbing. And while I'm rehabbing, I'm like, yo, what am I really rehabbing for? Because now I'm so far behind, because you figure it's about every year, thousands of people, trying to get to this, camps and, pre-draft stuff. So it's like, I'm not in conversation about that stuff. So my best bet right now is overseas. So let me see where I could get back to physically, I could get a gig overseas. So while I'm rehabbing, OAU coach called me. It's like, yo, while you trying to figure it out, I want you to come back and coach. Now, never in my life did I think that I would be coaching, but I saw it more so as me giving back to the kids and giving them game of like, yo, this is the reality of what you're trying to get into.
Right.
I never looked at it as like, I was never a big X and O guy. So I'm like, I'm gonna be the guy to kind of just give them the real. Mm-hmm. So while I'm rehabbing, I started coaching. Like right after college, I graduated, started coaching. So I did that and actually like fell in love with it. Yeah. I'm like, yo, this is all right. So, and now even during that time, I'm still rehabbing and I'm actually playing with them because I'm still trying to get back into it. So they related to me because they looked at me like, okay, he's one of us. Mm-hmm. Like, you get a coach who's old, who can't do what he's telling you to do. And you like, why am I listening to you? Like can you do what you're telling me to do? So now I'm really out there active with them, and they just gravitated towards me. We just built a great bond from me being able to relate to them. So I want to say I went, I forgot what year it was. I had a G League tryout. So I went to a G League camp. So I did well in that. It was a team in Asheville. So I'm killing there. I'm feeling good because now the conversation is like, yo, you're pretty much gonna make this team. But then guess what happens? My knee started bothering me again. So now it's like my health is I couldn't pass the physical. They're like, well, that's that. So now it's another setback. So I proved to myself I could still play, but it's like this lingering injury. So now I'm going back to coaching again. So I'm still involved, and I actually ended up getting a good group that I kind of like fell in love with. I had some dudes. So my coming out party to coaching was
Now this is you as a head coach now, or you still?
I'm an assistant, but there was times where I was left alone and I had to man the ship.
Okay.
Something else going on.
Okay.
So I was lucky. I'll say that. I was lucky to actually to be part of that group. So it was I had Brandon Costner, NC State. I had Ryan Ayers. He went to Notre Dame. I had Alvin Mufanaya. He went to St. Joe's. Jordan Farmar. He went to St. Joe's. Who else was on that team? Wayne Ellington was on that team. He was young. Jarrell Henderson was young on that team. Chris, he went to Yale. I don't want to forget nobody, but had a crew.
Yeah, no, it sounded like it.
So, having those dudes made life easy. So then the following year, that's when I was really like in it. So Wayne was a junior. Jarrell Henderson was a junior. Wayne went to North Carolina. Jarrell went to Duke. Had Earl Clark. He went to Louisville. Wellington Smith. He went to West Virginia. Louis Guzman. He went to Temple. Who else on that team? Jawan Carter. He went to St. Joe's. Oh man, Corey Stokes, Nova. So I was lucky.
That's me. That's me lineup.
So when you in 3 McDonald's All-Americans, one of 3 programs ever do that. 3 McDonald's on one team. So you could just imagine the attention that team brought. Every tournament, every game. The crazy part, we didn't win a lot. We didn't win a lot of tournaments. Nah, like we had a lot of highlights, but not a lot of wins.
Okay.
So, and then like it just kept like the flow of talent just kept coming in, whether it was me or the likes of other coaches recruiting. It was fun back then.
Back even doing all that, so this becomes like a year-round thing for you now. I mean, obviously the summer.
Yeah, so now I'm in now.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I go get a job. I'm working at the rec center, and then I started playing in the ABA.
Okay.
So I'm working at the rec center, playing in the ABA, and I'm coaching. So you figure AAU was spring and the summer. So during the year, I'm just pretty much working and recruiting.
Okay.
I'll go to all the high school games, see what's out there. But for the most part, when you're a sponsored program and you have, the name, you just going into the gym and just saying, "Oh, I want that kid." Yeah. It ain't really much conversation. That's when things were just, that's what I was doing. So the playing ball was kind of over.
Okay.
Like this what I'm doing.
Now, how was your relationship building with these coaches during that time? Because again, I know you're in the mix now, like you said, you in, so you should have this that rapport building with coaches, whether it's high school, obviously college. How was all that? Just
So
learning the game.
so the I was actually just learning the business.
Okay.
I never knew like the business side of things. I just thought it was strictly basketball. So it opened my eyes a lot. And now I'm giving game to the kids that I'm coaching and the parents. Like, look, it's just not basketball. It's big business when you're dealing with.
Now you say that. Interesting. You say that. Now, does that make you reflect back when you were in them circuits, all this business, like the business part
Yeah,
of it?
I had
You
like
see
I
how
had
you went to like three
yeah,
different
I had no idea
yeah,
the thing like the back channel that was going on
yeah.
in regards to me.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of moves that was made, it made sense once you understand like the landscape of the business.
Okay.
Um, Now, do I agree with it? No, but when it's big business, it's either
Mm-hmm.
you in it or you're not.
Mm-hmm.
So some things is out of your control, and like that's the part they say, oh, the political game.
Okay.
So I'm making relationships with high school coaches. I'm losing relationships with AAU coaches because at this time I'm just ruthless. I'm just trying to take your best player. I could say that comfortably now and admit to it. Like,
Okay.
a lot of the things I did, I wouldn't do today. I didn't know. I was young. I was eager. I was hungry. I didn't know any better. If the brand say, "Hey, go get this kid," so I'm gonna do. I wasn't thinking about the moral part of it, like how is this
Now,
affecting the coach and messing up these relationships. All I knew was go get the best kids. We go out, we play, we win. And that's what it was.
because I was gonna ask how was your style, your recruiting style, but you
I didn't
kind
have
of
to
said it
recruit.
just.
It was recruiting. It was just like not really recruiting, but more so I was just telling them like, look, like you want to stay over there. Like I would just speak about what we did. Like,
got you.
in the pudding. I don't have to speak about what the program you're with is not doing. You already know you want to come over here. You're just trying to figure out a way to like kind of break up with your girlfriend.
Got you.
Like, everybody's in that situation where it's like you got to tell somebody you don't want to be with them. And it's hard because when as a coach, if you're developing a kid or you coach a kid, a lot of times you build a bond with them. So if there's a better situation, and I'm this way today, and I was like that probably about for the last 8 years.
Okay.
If there's a better situation for you and it benefits you, I'm gonna bless it. I'm not gonna stand in your way. I'm not gonna say, oh, it's gonna hurt me. Like, no, go ahead, because at the end of the day, this is about you. Back then, I never looked at it that way. You know what I mean? So when those kids was leaving different programs, I never thought about the effect they had on their coach or the program. I just knew what the program gained from getting that kid. So the recruiting style was simple. Like, look, we want you. What's up? What's your sizes? I got you. This is where we going. I know you ain't gonna be there because I never seen you there. Do you want to turn your career up another notch? You want to make the McDonald's game? You got to be put on a certain platform. Now there are special kids who are special that can stay with the mom and pops and still get it done. So not to say like we were the end all be all to somebody making a game, but for the most part, when you got a history of it getting done, we had the history, but there were some unicorns out there who was just flat out special, who we didn't get, who I tried to get, but still made it, whether it's a McDonald's game or being a pro.
Interesting. How about and when you talk about all that, how about that situation for a kid? And obviously, no names or not, but when did you see like maybe being with y'all was too much? Did you ever get a couple of them kids like,
oh yeah. So
this kid is overwhelmed, or
it's
this
funny.
is like too much?
I had a kid quit. He actually went high D1. He was a good talent. So after the first tournament, he went to the director and said, I don't have the swag to play for Coach Mark.
Mm.
I didn't understand it, but I'm like, all right, I can't tell you. Like, I didn't try to convince him to stay. I did it. It was like, all right, like, I don't know what that means, but okay.
Yeah, that's not X's and O's. That's something totally something different.
I was known as the player's coach. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you go. Like, I'm not taking you up for basketball mistakes because I understand. Like, I'm gonna let you play through that.
Okay.
I was like the consummate player's coach. I'm gonna let you go. If you can go, I'm gonna let you go. That's who I was. So I didn't understand what he meant by that. So I let him go. And there was other kids that came and left. And when you're in that space, you hate losing kids because it's a sense of failure. It's like I hated losing a kid because that shows like a chink in the armor. Like, okay, they got weakness.
Yeah.
So every kid I would try to keep, in the program, but that's not reality. I think we had about a 80%, we were 80% on keeping kids in the program once we got them.
And as you get going with coaching and just doing all that, like, are you thinking what's next for you?
Nah. So when I was in it, because I was still working, I was still playing. In the ABA, it wasn't nothing crazy, but I'm still getting paid to play basketball, which was a joke to me anyway. I was gonna do that for free anyway. So me playing, getting a couple of $1,000s a month, was light. You know what I mean? So I could do this, and I still had a job. But during that time, there was rumblings about coaching college.
Okay.
So actually, I interviewed for 2 schools. They went well, but each spot, what was supposed to happen didn't happen with a certain coach, so that spot wasn't available.
Okay.
There was like coaching placement within like the relationships with the program. So I was supposed to be going to a few different spots, which life would have been a lot different today if those spots weren't open. And I don't regret those not happening. Everything happened for a reason. So there was no regret on my end because I was never like in. So it was like I never got a college job, then got fired and was trying to get back in the system, anything like that. So I actually enjoyed like being kind of the bridge between between the kids and the colleges. So, I built good relationships with all the coaches. Obviously having, high profile kids, you build rapport with the coaches, high level coaches.
Right.
So as far as I know, my name's clean with all those guys to this day.
Okay. Now, with all this going on in coaching and life and everything else here, like, how do you do it all, man? How do you do it all? Because I know you're busy.
Yeah. So I actually 2015, I actually started my own program.
Okay.
With Adidas. So Kenneth Fareed, Newark native, also an Essex County guy. He signs an Adidas deal. He says, "Yo, own my own program." So at the time, he actually played for the players too. So I'm like, damn, I wish he would sign with Nike because it would have kept everything in house and me not have to go create a whole nother program. So he's like, yo, I'm my own program. Adidas blessed it. So I started my own. So everybody, I think at one point in time, wants their own thing and doesn't realize it's a lot. It's a lot of work. It's not easy at all. I'll never forget, I was talking to Jim one day and I said, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. It was a lot of times we fought on things, but I get it. I got it once I had my own thing. After that first year, it's like everything falls on you. I got it done. I had a lot of help. Shout out to Coach Rome, Coach Kyle. Those are my old heads. They held me down as far as being like still my mentors. They helped me out. They were coaching. You know what I mean? So that was a tremendous help because you're not gonna get that kind of experience from coaches your first year. So, both of them being high school coaches and coaching at a high level AAU wise, and having their own kids who, played at a high level. So they helped and just kind of let me, they let me work. And, they stepped in where they had to. They told me where I was messing up at, and where I did well at. So they were integral. They were integral part in the whole process for me. And
Now,
I learned a lot from my 12 years with the players also.
yeah, yeah. What's the name of your program?
It was the Adidas program with the firm. Now I have Team Slow Mo, who's sponsored by Kyle Anderson, another Jersey guy that I coached. He wanted his own program, so we started them young. We didn't jump into the high school ranks right away.
Okay.
So we're just building it from the ground up. I have actually more enjoyment doing that instead of me having to start from high school and having to, possibly recruit and take kids from other programs. I'd rather build my own, just knowing the landscape of basketball today. I'm cool with building my own thing, starting from scratch and actually developing kids instead of handpicking talent,
Yeah. What's the higher age that you working with now?
8th grade. So right now we have we have 3rd grade to 8th grade.
Okay.
So each year the kids will move up. So my 8th grade team this year be in high school next year, and they'll be our 15U program, our 15U team. So once we enter that world, that's a different ball game. So, I'm ready for it. And, I'm actually going to bring back the firm on a high school level on the side.
Okay.
So I have one of my old coaches. He's actually going to be handling that, but I'll be in the background helping where I can. So we're going to have both things working, for kids in Jersey, middle school, high school. So it'll be good.
Where's it based out of?
We'll have kids from all over,
No, as far as the gym and practice and all that.
So Team Slow, we practice in Fairfield.
Okay.
It's a few blocks from Willowbrook at a gym called Excel. We got 1 court now. In the spring and the summer we'll have two wood courts. So it's a nice facility. We have a great partnership with the gym there. We have a lot of wiggle room to do things. So
yeah, nah, that's good stuff, man. And just with the high school, just get your thoughts because you knee deep in this as far as whether it's grammar school on up. Like, how you feel high school basketball is these days? I mean, again, I know it's more like a business. You mentioned when you talking about your experience, the Hall of Fame game and all that. Like, I know I just recently went up to the Hoop Hall again this year. I'm up in that area, so up in Springfield. So it's just interesting just sitting there, just watching a few of the games here. Then you just hear the chatter about kids going to sometimes 4 high schools in 4 years, sometimes five. Like, what's your take on all this?
Hold on 1 second. Let me plug my computer up because this is about to get serious. Hold on.
No, that's what it is. No problem.
You about to open a whole can of worms with that
one. Nah, we good.
Nah, because that's a growing problem that I have, like that I'm really passionate about. Like I don't get it. Oh, excuse me. So the state of high school basketball today, man. I'll start with saying this. A lot of parents are delusional. They don't want to believe that their kid is what they are. So they have like high expectations. And they don't let their kid deal with any adversity. You figure the first sign of like adversity, they run. You'll be hard pressed to find a kid that just goes to one high school from freshman year to senior year. And that trend doesn't stop when you get to high school. So those same kids who you see at 2 to 3 different high schools, you'll see them at 2 to 3 different colleges.
Yeah.
I've heard college coaches say, I'm not recruiting him because the minute he's unhappy, he's going to leave. it doesn't stop, because once you're comfortable in jumping, you're gonna be a jumper forever. You're gonna be known as a jumper.
Okay.
So a lot of parents and kids don't want to face reality. Like, why not fight for something? Everything can be handed to you. That's just not life.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, sports and life, like, they're parallel to each other.
Yeah.
And I preach that to my parents at a young age, like right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have parents who call me and have displeasures about, playing time or what they could do to get better. Like, at some point, you got to just let your kid go. Like, you brought them to the program to be coached.
Mm-hmm.
Let me coach them.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to ask me, I'm going to give you my honest opinion. I can't sugarcoat anything for you.
Yeah.
No matter how young they are, I'm going to just give it to you real, because I don't want to be, I'd rather you hate me for the truth than love me for a lie.
Mm-hmm.
So from 3rd grade, 5th grade, 4th grade, it's all the same. You got to work. I get better. You're not going to be the best person on the team everywhere you go. Playing on 3, 4 different teams for what?
Yeah.
I get it. During the winter time, you have, school teams, and this is all middle school stuff. This isn't nothing to do with high school. So the thing in middle school is, during the school year, they have their season.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of kids play for the school and they play AAU. I get it. But when there's no season for your middle school or elementary, you're playing on 3 teams. What are you loyal to?
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. There's no loyalty in AAU basketball no more. There's none at all. Because it's becoming a me sport instead of a we sport.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's their brand, and they're pushing their own agenda of what they think they should be. So it's pretty nasty now, man. I don't agree with it, but I can't stop it.
Mm-hmm.
All I can do is give the information to parents that's in my program, to make better decisions. And, if they have any questions, like, we got an open door policy.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually have good guys in the program that understand the landscape and that can give you real information. So, yeah, just high school basketball, it's a mess right now. I think a lot has to do with social media.
Okay.
But a lot of people don't realize there's a other side of social media. So is all the praise you get, there's negative.
That's right. That's right.
There's a lot of criticisms you get from it. So, and as a young kid, as a teenager, nobody thinks about the mental part of it.
How you handle it? Yeah, everybody take things differently. Absolutely.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't understand, like, these are kids that kind of grow into their own, but then you have adults that's, on the couch typing, oh, you stink, you this, you that. But it's like, he's a kid. You didn't have it all figured out at 16, 17.
Mm-hmm.
And your opinion is your opinion, but you attacking a kid online, like, you look crazy. I'm sorry. And the fact that you probably never did it yourself is even crazier.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people just do that more so now because of social media. Somebody could be on your page telling you, like, oh,
that's right,
you should have did this. It's like, who are you?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you really wanted to help me, you'd have hit me privately and said, I think you could have did X, Y, and Z better. So, and then we had an issue with one of our own kids. He was in college, and because he didn't perform the way that we thought he should have performed, well, not me, but the public, the people in Jersey, they was killing the kid, saying, oh, he stink, he's not gonna do this, you're not gonna do that. But it's like, you look at his stats, the kid was doing pretty well, but because he wasn't scoring 20, he was labeled a bum.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody ever thought about, like, he sees these things. These are people that he grew up with. The same people who high five him, handshake, congrats on this, congrats on that, the whole time during high school. The same ones that's killing them. Nobody never sat back and said, damn, he might be going through it mentally.
Right.
Because now the people who used to love him, they killing him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, damn, I thought y'all was my people. I thought y'all was with me.
Mm-hmm.
So I look at it from that perspective.
Makes sense.
Of like the mental aspect, because while we all could just look in our phone and accept the praise, there's a flip side of it. Everybody's not praising you. So how do you react to being criticized while you're on your journey?
Interesting you say that, because you was talking about how you was depressed.
Yeah,
Things you were going
and
through.
back
Yeah.
then, depression was probably not even a conversation. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know why I was feeling like this. Like, damn, am I good enough? Like, I went from, I had a commercial. I had my own shoe, had a commercial.
Mhm.
So, even during that time, that was a weird space for me because I never played basketball for attention. I
Yes.
played it because I loved it.
Mhm.
So criticisms would come, but it wouldn't bother me because I never sat down and said, you know what? I'm playing basketball to get love. I played it every day.
Mhm.
I never played it for the attention. So crowds and stuff like that kind of bothered me. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So even when so I did the commercial, I didn't sign up for it. They came to me.
Mhm.
I do it. You had people literally mad because I was picked. I'm like, fam, it wasn't a tryout.
It's out of my control. Yeah.
It's out of my control. Like I literally got into fights,
Yeah, that's
physical
crazy.
fights with people, like, yo, you not this, you not that. So now you open up a magazine, my picture's there. Now I got a target on my back, an unwanted target. I already had a target from, because when I played, I talk crazy. I love talking.
Mhm.
That was one of my things. So now I got a target, another target on my back, a bigger target, because it's like, oh, he top 25, he top 50, bet. Oh, he got a commercial, oh, he ain't all that. So now the energy is different when people coming at you. So dealing with that, I never, like I remember being in a Foot Locker, and they had the poster there. I didn't know about the whole layout of being in
Okay.
Foot Locker. So I'm in Foot Locker and I'm looking, I'm like, wait, that's me. And then like the worker was like, yo. So there was like a crowd like gathering around. Like I ran out of the store.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I wasn't ready for that. Like I ran out the Foot Locker.
Mhm.
Like I wasn't like you, I wasn't prepared for that. That was new for me. So like even that kind of attention at a young age, kids today are getting so much of it, they don't know how to deal with the negative part of it.
Mhm.
And I think that needs to be more of a conversation of like, look, everybody's not going to love you. So as much love as you're going to get the triple amount of hate.
Oh yeah. Nah, definitely, man. And I know that mental part, again, though, is getting a little more highlighted now. I mean, it should be really out there. I mean, back when we played our time, that was kind of taboo. You know, even like bring that shit up. But like I said, but it's out there now, and like
Like
I
think
said,
about
and awareness is there.
the kids that like as a star having a bad game.
Yeah. Hmm.
Like nobody ever like thought about that. He might be depressed. All like, yo, get over it, man. You acting like a little girl.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that was how it was back then.
Hmm.
Nobody thought about like, he might be really going through it.
Right.
Nobody knows what's going on at home. Nobody knows like what he's thinking. All they know is he had a bad game. Yo, you need to get over it.
Mhm. That's right. Absolutely.
It was real issues going on back home. But
Real issue.
all we thinking about is basketball. We don't know if mom's strung out on drugs. We don't know what's going on.
Hmm.
But all we know is, yo, you got to play good. If not, we gonna kill you. Like, oh, you stink. You ain't. Oh, you thought you was good. You're not that good.
Yeah.
So, but again, it's all how you respond to that.
Hmm.
Um,
Absolutely. And I know you talk about playing well here, like just even with the AAU circuit. I mean, some obviously it's pros and cons, everything. Everybody gonna say what they're gonna say. My question is, as far as what does it take away from the person working on their game, just like individually, just playing all these games pretty much around the clock? You had a tournament, you playing five games in 3 days. I mean, do you have
yeah,
time to
so
work on your individual skills? Again, I know everybody's
yeah,
train of thought is different.
this is so you need balance, right? So,
Hmm.
in my opinion, the kids play too much organized basketball.
Okay.
Like it's too much. So you remember, like we had the playground.
Hmm.
There's that doesn't happen anymore. Like you
Yeah.
gotta really manufacture an open gym for kids to just play without being under the whistle. Think about it. If you playing under the whistle all the time, when are you really working on your game? And even if you're doing individual work, you'll see those kids who all they do is drills, because they become a cone baby.
Got you.
They're in a game. Think about it. Trainers, they're training kids. Well, I don't even call them, some of these dudes are just rebounders, but anyway, that's another story. If you're training, individual training is all you're doing is dribble, shot, dribble, layup. When you get in the game, what are you going to do? All of it is individualism. So now in the game, all you're doing is what you worked on in your workout, which was one-on-one stuff. So in a game, you're not doing anything team-wise. You got your blinders. I'm working on the move I worked on my trainer. So now you look crazy because now you're selfish because all you're doing is working on your individual game.
Okay.
So a lot of times I feel like trainers should really incorporate like game situations because like you're killing a kid. And not for nothing, it's too much with younger kids. I see it's too much of this extra stuff. Like they calling this a pro move. I don't even know what that is. I've worked with countless pros. I've never heard a pro say pro move. I've never heard a
pro move. Yeah.
I never heard a pro. I never heard a trainer of a professional in the NBA say, yeah, this is a pro move. So can a pro do a high school
move? Right.
Can a pro do a middle school move? Like what's a pro move? It's just a move. So that's annoying. But back to your point, there's too much under the whistle basketball being played and not enough free play. Free play is when you learn yourself. Like that's when you get your competitive nature from. These kids are just playing games with no repercussions. Oh, on to the next game. Well, we lost, on to the next game. What about losing and you got to wait 2 to 3 games? But so now when you get on the court, winning means something. Like it's a large portion, a large group of kids who don't take winning as anything. Because it's like, oh, we got another game. Winning means nothing. Like we have a model in the program, it's like, we don't care about winning, we care about development, but we'll let you know when winning matters. But right now in middle school and grammar school, winning doesn't matter. Like nobody remembers who won such and such tournament down in South Jersey a week ago. But who cares? In the grand scheme of things, who cares? Did you get better? Like I want everybody to be competitive, but winning the game is a prize. So playing hard, competing, and playing the right way is my goal. Because if you do those things, if you work on those things, the wins will come. So I wish it would be more free play and less, oh, let's play 4 games or 5 games. Like, you playing all these games for what? Because you know what they're doing with it?
What's that?
They're just chopping them up, making highlight films, making themselves look.
Yeah.
Like I've seen the kid score 6 points in the game and put a highlight reel up. You scored 6. So you slowed your 3 layups down. No, your 2 layups in the dunk. You slowed them down and showed them from 2 different angles. And guess what everybody do? Like it. Oh, you killing, fire emoji.
Yeah.
It's all fake. So, but again, nobody posts low lights. That's what they call highlights. Nobody posts the missed layups, the missed dunks, the turnovers. So I get annoyed when I go to these games. I'm like, wait, this kid posted it. He stinks. He can't play. But you go to his gram, kid look like he about to be the next.
Yeah. Now, how much work in between seasons you put in, man? What was it like for you?
They're gonna laugh. So I didn't start training until probably like my senior year.
Okay.
And that wasn't really crazy. But there was no training. There was no individual workouts. I didn't know that until I got to college. You know what my training was? The playground and open gym. I would go to any open gym, play with the old heads, get beat up, play one-on-ones to the sun up to sundown. But that's how you learn yourself. That's how you hone your skills, knowing what you can and can't do. So the playground it's cliche for like, my era, but that's what we had. We didn't have, hey, come pay $20 and train with this person and come work on, like, we didn't have all it. Only cones we knew about was the ones for the block party that cut the block off. Like, we didn't have no cones to work out with.
Yeah.
We didn't know none
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely.
No training. The training was the older dudes that'll beat you up on the court, like basketball wise.
Yeah.
You got to call next, and you might have to sit 3-4 games.
Might be there a minute.
Kids don't even know what that is. They don't know. Like, that's like you said, like, what you mean? Like, I got to sit out. I'm leaving and I'm taking my ball. So it's just hard. And I can't be mad at the way things are today, because the game is like, it's evolution. It's so big now. And with social media, it makes it bigger. So a lot of the gripes I have, it's just probably me being the old head now. But I'm not the old head. I'm kind of like, I'm the middle child, because I understand that demographic, and I know what, how my old heads were. So like, I'm in the middle right now.
Okay.
So it's frustrating, but I understand.
Yeah, especially, I mean, what you're doing now, because you're in the mix with everything, those young kids. So you see it all the time now. Then I know, as far as the sports, man, what's it giving you that sticks with you to this day?
Sports,
Yes.
just to compete.
Yeah.
Like, sports taught me how to deal with other people. It's funny, I still had the paper I wrote for sports psychology. We had to write about our experiences and how we would change them.
Okay.
So it was kind of like the same question, like, what does sports teach you? If you had to go into the business world, how would sports help you in that? And dealing with different egos, working as a group, kind of putting your ego to the side for the greater good of one goal. Because every athlete has an ego. I don't care what they tell you. Everybody thinks they're that dude. If you don't, then you shouldn't be playing, because you gotta have confidence. That's probably the biggest thing. Confidence in whatever you do. That goes from the court. That goes to the, the meeting, the boardrooms. That goes for everything in life. If you don't have any confidence, you already lost.
Yeah.
So
no, definitely. Nah, I appreciate that. I mean, I appreciate this time too. Like I said, I'm having a great time just listening and just learning about you here, man. You got a few more minutes for me?
I'm here.
Cool. Nah, this part, man, as we on the back end, man, I just like to put people on the spot a little bit with straight shooters as far as with questions here, man. So I'm sure you
I'm here. You ask me anything, man.
Stuff, man. Good stuff. And something might be wild, random, but don't worry about it. We good.
Oh man, whatever it is, I'm here.
All right, cool. When driving, when you up in Jersey, you Parkway or Turnpike?
Parkway.
South Orange Ave or Stuyvesant Ave?
South Orange Ave.
What you call it? Block party or the club?
Ooh. Today or back then?
However you want it, whatever works for you.
Club.
Okay. What's your spot? Or was your spot?
Skating ring, Robert Street, Crystals.
Great. Wow, Crystals. I ain't heard that one. Wow.
Squad parties, man. Shout out to his squad, man.
We talking about Adidas. Shells or forms?
Shells.
Oh, okay.
Nice,
All right. Bragmans or Coopers?
Coopers.
St. Benedict's or Fordham?
Fordham. Nah. I grew up in both spots.
Okay.
So like I Benedict's made me who I was to get to the next phase. But Fordham, that was really like a turning point in life. That's why I felt like I grew into like a man. So I grew up at Benedict's, and Fordham kind of molded me into the man.
Okay. NJ Players or Newark Rams?
North Rand. I'm a Ram for life. I'm a player
Okay.
for life, man. Like I can't disown either. Because
Hmm.
like not for nothing, if there's no me without Brian Crawford
Yeah.
and the after basketball, the building of a program, there's no me without the players. So
Hmm.
I learn a lot from both. I
Yeah.
can't pick either one.
Okay. No, that's cool. That's
I gotta
cool.
go with both. I don't know if there's a penalty for
Nah,
both.
nah, we chilling, man. We good, man. Ain't nothing.
No, that was a good one though. That you caught me off guard with that one. Um, yeah, man.
uh,
I like
I
not
hear you.
like real talk, like just to pause, um, like I owe a lot to both, and I thank both of them, Brian Crawford and Jim Salmon.
Mhm.
Like shout out to them. Like they both
Nah,
legends.
definitely. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Nah, definitely being. Then I know Coach Shalman, obviously, I'm a Mackley guy, so he there now. So,
Yeah.
so I'm happy some of the stuff he's done over there, him and Marcus.
Yeah.
What best playgrounds that you played growing up?
Lincoln, um, Orange Park,
Okay.
mm, Boylan Street.
Hmm.
Those are the only ones I really frequent.
Okay. And I didn't ask as far as summer leagues. Did you do the summer league circuit a little bit
Um,
as far as playing?
I did EO Pro Am.
Pro am.
I
Okay.
did that. I did the Jersey Shore League.
Okay.
Those only two. Like I played in a Rucker, but I didn't take that wasn't real to me when I
Got
played.
you.
It was more entertainment. But the real Pro Am, the Harry James Pro Am,
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
back when it was at East Orange
Hmm.
with the big fans,
Yes.
I played in there.
Okay.
Um, and then I played down in Jersey Shore.
Okay.
So
Now, best game you ever played in your life? Does
ooh,
something stick out?
what years? What
Ah,
so,
that's however,
so the best
whatever you're
game?
thinking of.
Mm. Uh some will go opposite of what people normally do.
Okay.
They'll say like the game that had the most points.
Hmm.
Um,
That's not always true.
no, it's not. But it was a hell of a game for me.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go with my college. It's between two college games. So I ended my college career. Um, I went a whole game with no turnovers. I had 17. And my
Hmm.
biggest thing was I used to always get turnovers. I was reckless.
Okay.
I played hard, I played aggressive, but I was just a bad decision maker. So I would turn the ball over trying some stuff. Like, so that was
Hmm.
just, it was kind of like you knew what you were getting.
Hmm.
So when I ended that game with no turnovers, like that was like a proud moment, like
Yeah.
0 turnovers. That was one, and 1A would probably be I had 25 and 11. So I had a
Hmm.
double double. And my
Okay.
coach always told me like, yo, you should get more rebounds. So when I did that, it kind of like that was probably one of the best games.
And I know you say you like to get up, you like to bounce off that floor. Any posters stick out, man? Just throughout your life,
Oh,
somebody you caught out.
we ain't got enough time for that. Like I got this.
Is it one in particular that just like yeah?
Mm, I got one at the Dunn Center.
Okay.
Man, I got one from college where I made yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot that even people remind me of. Like, I forgot about that. But I just wish we was in a digital era because not a lot of this stuff is on film. So it's
I
kind of like
know.
I'm probably making it up. But like the ones I had when we get off this phone, I'm gonna send you a few. You're like, oh, all right. Um,
Okay.
but like, nah, I got a lot of it's a lot of people still
Got
probably
some moments. Yeah, got some moments.
at some moments.
The well, best team you ever been on?
Hmm, best team. Ooh, I would have to say my AU team. Either my AU team, well, we count summer league.
Whatever team it is, count whatever you
I could
want.
say my East Orange, like my pro-am team.
Who was that team? Who was on that squad?
We had Reverend Knight,
Okay.
Ira Woodman,
Okay.
um, Eric Williams. No, Eric wasn't. He wasn't playing. We had Oku,
Hmm.
me, Brandon Knight, Michael Haynes, my man Bawaki.
Mm.
Who else on that team? Bernard Clark, Booby, who knows as Booby. I want to say that's it. Like, oh, my bad. Marcus was on that team. Tony L.
Oh, how was your minutes with that squad?
It depend on the day.
Who depend who showed up?
Yeah, and it depend on like, so we had a system. So it was like, we were like, the old heads were kind of like, they would lead the way and they would let us know when we could get it. It's like, all right, y'all come in.
Mm-hmm.
We need the rest. So that's how that worked.
Yeah,
But nobody had an issue because who better to learn from dudes who are pros and we trying to get there.
right.
So again, the game was long, so we would play.
Okay.
So
As you mentioned, athletes got egos. They don't even care. We don't care if it's the summer or not. Yeah.
nah, we had like we had like a it was like a program. Like we knew like we would work out together.
Okay, no, good stuff.
It was like a family. It wasn't no you just come in, play, try to get yours. We was working out with each other. I mean, we was kicking it together. It wasn't just a come in, play and leave type of situation.
Mm-hmm. Nah, and then even with Benedict's, I know there was some players there before. Some while you were there, some when you after. Who's your all-time Benedict starting five?
Do I include myself?
It's yours. You do whatever you want. You can be positionless. They could be straight
My
1 through 5.
five.
That's up to you.
My five. So you got me. I'm going me, Bilal Rogers, Steve Branch, JR, and Isaiah didn't graduate from this, so I can't use Boogie. Damn, Boogie just missed it. I get one more. I'm forgetting.
I know you had quite a few that came through them doors.
I'm bugging. Elijah Allen, man.
Okay.
Here we go.
There we
That's
go.
the five. That's the five right there.
That's 5. You want a 6-man? You get a 6-man.
Shane West.
Okay. You the best to ever come out of there?
Not at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think once JR got there and went out of high school.
Say no more, huh?
That killed my little legacy, man. It was like,
Yeah.
Well, that was that.
How did you like Benedict, speaking of Benedicts, as far as them just taking off and in a different direction versus the whole prep division and things that you did when you were there? How'd you feel about you mentioned the whole evolution, so I'm guessing it's along those lines.
I really there was a period of time where I didn't follow them.
Okay.
It's kind of like they didn't have any like Essex County kids.
Got you.
So once they got away from that and they, I guess, became more of a national team, they had some good players, but I didn't identify with them.
Mm-hmm.
I would like for them to get back to that. As a alumni, I would like to see, more Essex County kids get that shot to be on that stage. I don't know when it will happen. I would like to see more Jersey kids. I feel like that because the program has the name.
Yes.
But I don't know what direction it's going. And to be honest, I can't speak on what they're doing. I know they got some good guys down there. I know they got good coaching. They've done a good job, but I'm not tapped in with them like that. It is nothing personal. I'm pretty sure when my younger groups get to high school or enter high school, there'll be a conversation where I know some parents have talked about wanting to send their kids there. So,
Mm-hmm.
school wise, I think it's a great school. I can't speak on the athletics at this point.
Yeah. Okay. Now, even I usually try not to double up too many top fives here, but I'm gonna ask you since your era, the best 5 high school basketball players from your era when you were playing.
Ooh, my era. Mm. My year?
Your era, you can how you want to define era for within that 5 year, 10 year, whatever that era.
Hmm. Shit. Lamar Odom, T Mac.
Okay.
These are dudes that I seen with my own eyes and played against. Shit. Tim,
Mm-hmm.
Kobe.
Okay.
How many is that?
One more.
One more? Ooh. Who was going crazy back then? Shaheem Oliver. Like those are
I,
all
yeah.
players that were older than me, but were in my era, and it was kind of like I saw their path and was like, oh,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
like I want that. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, somebody, however it turned out, whether it's from being young or even later on in life, like somebody who should have made it. However you want to define made it.
should have made it. Hmm. Shakur Edwards.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember that name.
He was special,
Mm-hmm.
but streets got him. He was a kid from Irvington that had it,
Mm-hmm.
had
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
When we
Yeah.
took like, I felt like he could have played in any era,
Mm-hmm.
and kids like that don't come around often. So he was a unicorn. So
Okay. Okay.
that's my dude. I was fortunate enough to kind of be part of his story
Mm-hmm.
when I got him. So yeah, that was unfortunate. So
Mm-hmm.
he was one of those. He's
Yeah.
definitely one to me.
Mm. Best part about being Mark Jarrell.
The best part about being me depends on who you ask, but
No, yeah, imagine the man
um,
himself.
the best part about being me, um, my hardships.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I like to speak on the hardships because they kind of make me who I am today.
Mm-hmm.
So I could sit here and gloat about all my accomplishments and all the great stuff, but I wouldn't be me if I didn't go through those hardships. Whether it
Mm-hmm.
was getting hurt, having 4 knee surgeries, um, dealing with depression of not being able to play, being one of the top players in the country and quote unquote not making it. Um,
Yeah.
so it's funny because when you're kind of put in that light, you're expected. You have an expectation. But remember, I said I never played for that expectation. I just played because I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Still to this day, if somebody called me and play, I'm playing. I never played for that to be the goal. So there was no big, disappointment in me. You know what I mean? Because that wasn't the goal.
Mm-hmm.
The goal was for me. I just, played because I loved it. You know what I mean? So I know people around me, might feel that way, like, you should have made it. You're supposed to be this, you're supposed to be that. And it's like, I'm cool though. I'm still here.
Mm-hmm.
If that was my goal, I'll be pissed, because I was riddled with injuries and all that, but I'm good. Like, so I like, the hardships is what make me.
Nah.
And
And with
it
those,
actually helps me navigate, through different life circumstances, especially dealing with the kids. Like I would like, my son broke his foot. He thought it was the end of the world. He was devastated, crying, "Oh, I can't play." He had to be out, I think, 2 months. I said, "Fam, you're 12. You know how much
mm-hmm.
basketball you got left?" but he can't see that far ahead. All he know about today. So if I didn't go through an injury, I wouldn't know how to handle that for him.
Yes.
He was crying. I felt that pain. But he got it early. I never got hurt like that, that age, but I understood his pain and his passion behind wanting to play and being, crying like I just want to play. But he got out the boot off the little cart thing and he back active.
Okay.
So,
that's right.
But you couldn't tell him he was going to be at this point.
Oh, not at all. It wasn't trying to see that. I mean, it's not looking ahead again. That's that growing part, where you can.
We don't know that as
right.
Little
12-year-olds, yeah.
You think life is over. Like, you think about your first heartache when you was younger. You got your heart, you're like, oh, life is over. She left me. Like, you don't know, like, okay, on to the next.
That's right. That's right. And you mentioned hardship. Well, hardships come moments. And by me saying that, I'm rather about to ask, what are the 3 best moments of your life so far? I know you got a lot more to come. But at this moment, what's 3 of the best that stick out? I mean,
graduating from college, becoming a father,
yeah,
the next best, having real people in my life. Like having still having my day ones there. Yeah. I still got people it's you'll be hard pressed to find people that still have like the same circle of friends and family that's still on each side. So I'm fortunate to have that.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Now, there's a book on your life, man. What would you call
it? That's funny you asked that. I was telling a friend of mine about I want to write a book, an AAU book.
All right, here we go then.
Nah, it was called Behind the Stripes. We always
okay. Okay.
The book of my life, would it be called? If You Only Knew.
No, well said. No, makes sense. Makes sense. And that the only you know, and this might tie into this actually. This marked this point in your life. What advice would you give that 17, 18-year-old Mark leaving high school? What advice would you give him?
Slow down.
Yeah.
Slow down. Listen. Slow down. That's it.
Yeah.
I was moving too fast, doing too much, doing the most. Just slow down.
Now, what would your parents say about you now?
I would hope they say they're proud of me. They tell me here and there. So if I can continue to make them proud, so.
Lastly, man, what's on deck? What's on deck?
What's on deck? I'm gonna continue to build my young pups up. My program is going to continue to grow. I want to leave something. I want to build it, to be something big. Like I want it to continue to impact, young kids' lives in a positive light. Just to keep providing a platform. Like I want the platform to continue so it can provide, and keep the same core values because I don't agree with a lot that's going on with the game. So with what we do it a little different. So I want to keep that going until shit is possible, like long as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to see, my 4th graders right now. I would like to see them go through the whole program until they're out of high school. That's my goal. Like, I want to see that. I want to keep that, keep the same groups together. People gonna come and go, but like I want a core group to kind of just keep it going because not for nothing. The players make the program. The coaches don't make the director don't make the program. The players make the program. So I just want to see it, continue to grow. there's other things I want to do as far as, personally, as far as businesses and stuff like that. But as far as basketball, I just want to continue to kind of make a difference. So, when I'm going, there could be somebody talking to you like, yo, remember Coach Mark, the program, this and that, and he helped with that. So the same way I'm speaking about, the two guys that helped me a lot, someday I will hope, somebody I help. So, and I think it'll happen. I still have players today that I coach who reach back out and like just say thank you. You know what I mean? They don't need nothing. They just say, I want to say thanks for the lessons, advice, whatever it is. So I just recently actually wrote every kid that I coached down. I had a list, and I was like, wow, it's not bad. I don't know when, if I'm gonna like post it. But it's kind of dope to see, like, wow, some names on there, some players.
Yeah, nah. You shared some, and there's a few more, man. I think I probably hear outside of, I mean, again, I'm not speaking for you, but probably outside of hearing, while I'm being called dad, I'm sure coach is right up there. Just hearing that, like you mentioned, somebody that you dealt with years ago, still reaching out to you. So I'm sure. Again, they always say, and I've said this a bunch of times, even on here. I mean, you engrave your name in the hearts of kids, you live forever.
Yeah. So that's all. I think that's what it's all about. Like I remember, this AAU period, it used to be more about helping the kids. More so today is more about male ego. And like, a lot of coaches and program directors poking their chest out about what they're doing. It's like, it ain't about you. Like your days are over. Like how are you helping these kids? So
yeah,
I don't even like to, present myself as the director while I'm running, like, because then it ain't me. It ain't about me. So I could sit in the background and nobody know who the hell I am. As long as the kids having fun, parents are satisfied, kids are getting better, getting experience. It doesn't matter what hat I'm wearing. As long as the kids are, my goal is right now for the kids to be good high school players, keep getting better. And then, once we get to that point, for you to go to school for free, whether it's D1, D2. You know what I mean? It ain't going D2 ain't, a demotion. I know a lot of kids like, oh, I ain't trying to go D2, but hey, that's your level, that's your level.
Right.
If you're good, you'll get paid. Trust me. It's a lane for everybody.
Yeah. No, you're right about you. Definitely right about that. Mark, I just want to say thank you. Like I said, just hearing the name and, while I know I'm a few years before you, but just hearing the name, and having an opportunity actually to hear your story, I can sit here and, obviously talk hoops or just life all day, man. But I appreciate you just sharing a little bit of your world, man. Like I said, this has been a pleasure, and you ain't even hesitate. You was like, not a problem, I got you. You know what I mean? So I definitely just want to say thank you just for sharing a little bit and just, I look forward to, man. I don't know what I got to do to grab me a hoodie, one of them hoodies you got on, but I'll figure that part
I
out.
got you. You want me to send me your size, man? I'll send you your care package, man. I appreciate you. I like the platform. I think it's dope for just any past player, no matter what level they play at, everybody got a story, man. So you never know who's watching, who's listening, who to touch, where to reach, who is helping. You know what I mean? So again, I wish you the best. I appreciate it. Just keep it going. You know what I mean? If ever need me back, I'm here.
Nah, appreciate it, man. I definitely keep that in mind, man. So appreciate it all, man. And you be well.
You too, man.
All right, no doubt. Peace.
All right.
Yeah, good stuff. Appreciate Mark just taking time out, busy schedule, what have you, man. This is what it's about, man. Just like to hear people's journeys. Just sit back, listen, ask a question or two, what have you here. But like I said, this has just been a starting to stutter here. Been a pleasure in regards to just, the opportunity to just share with Mark and everybody else here. So even with that being said here, I'm just gonna slide on out. I put my hand over my heart that means I feel you. Yeah.